Welcome back to Tailors of Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about getting 60 FPS on Fortnite Mobile exclusively now to iOS, which is hilarious to me. I was kind of leaning between, is this a tech video, is this a gaming video? But this channel doesn't get enough love, so I figured let's talk about it here. So to me, the most hilarious thing about this is Samsung had their whole marketing campaign about how the Galaxy Note 9, if you're gonna play mobile, this is the best way to play Fortnite on mobile. And it ran pretty good on the Note 9. It also ran pretty good on the XS. But now, Epic has officially updated Fortnite Mobile for iOS to take full advantage of that new A12 Bionic chip, even though these phones have been out since September, so this is 3 months delayed. But anyway, they're taking full advantage of this A12 chip, and now you can get 60 frames a second gameplay on your iPhone, which to me looks incredible. Usually when it comes to gameplay on iPhones, I've always felt like the only way you can get 60 frames a second is if it's some type of 2D game or it's Minecraft. If you're talking third-person shooters or first-person shooters, there's basically no way to get 60 FPS unless you start turning down graphic settings really drastically. And to me, in my experiences with Fortnite running at 60, it doesn't feel like they turn down the graphics that much. I'm sure they might do it a little bit so that the frame rate can stay more consistent, but man, am I okay with that decision, because the frame rate does stay very consistent, and I'm very proud that now we're actually getting gameplay. And I know a lot of you probably don't care about Fortnite at all, but it's still one of the most popular games in the world right now, and the fact that one of the most popular games in the world can be played at a full 60 FPS in your pocket is getting downright insane, especially given the fact that the Nintendo Switch cannot even hit 60 frames a second. A dedicated console, something way larger with controls attached to it. You know, there was that big deal they made out of the Nintendo Switch finally getting Fortnite, but despite all of the graphical power they put in that Switch, it can't quite get the frame rates as high as an iPhone. Granted, the Switch more prioritizes graphic performance, and the frame rate on the Switch is not bad. It's definitely not 60, but it's not a terrible frame rate either. But I just think it's funny that a smartphone is able to outperform the Switch when it comes to frame rate performance. And also, small tangent, I don't care about the Dave Lee 7 deadly sins of Fortnite gameplay stuff. Look, some of us don't have all day to find the exact right moment of the game where it's somewhat interesting. So yes, I'm going to showcase Fortnite spectating someone else because that makes it easier to record and document the gameplay for this video, partly because my hands cover up the screen when I'm trying to record something interesting going on, and I'm making content, okay? I'm not spending hours and hours just with my camera pointed directly at my phone waiting for the absolute best moment of gameplay to record. So Dave Lee, stop it. Stop saying that there's a wrong way to record Fortnite gameplay. I'm just showcasing how it looks, and when you're spectating, it's still showing how the game graphically runs. So let's put all those complaints to rest, shall we? Now, the very depressing thing about this is once I found out that they added 60 frames a second to Fortnite Mobile, I immediately went to my iPad Pro. This has the A12X chip, which is even faster than the A12 and is supposed to have a big boost in terms of graphical performance. Well, turns out Epic hasn't really gotten around to this chip yet. So the only way to get 60 frames a second on your iPhone is if you have a XS or XS Max or the iPhone XR, which is pretty impressive that the best way to play Fortnite Mobile is now available for $750, yet Samsung had this giant partnership with Epic about how Fortnite runs so well on the Note 9. Well, turns out iOS has more options, so you might not get an exclusive Galaxy skin, but it might look and run a lot better over on iOS in terms of gameplay. But they didn't get around to the A12X chip yet, which still means that when you're playing on the iPad Pro, not only do you have to put up with these very annoying, very ugly black bars that go around the entire length of the iPad. No, the bezels are not that thick. The display is supposed to keep going, and for some reason, they crop it in. I don't know why they do that. It's the same resolution as older iPads. And also, you cannot turn the game settings above high. They have an option there for Epic, and I can't quite understand what phones or what devices are supposed to take advantage of the Epic setting, especially if this is coming from Epic Games. And even though this iPad Pro has way more power than the iPhone, and if you've seen the performance tests on the iPad Pro, you know how insanely good the A12X chip is, yet they still don't have 60 frames a second brought to the iPad. But even though the game is locked at 30 frames a second, you see in the gameplay how much detail you're able to get out of that display. So this obviously needs to be optimized, it needs to be updated, and hopefully soon, please Epic update this, because Apple said the iPad Pro has Xbox One S graphic performance in it, but we need some games to showcase that. And seeing all the detail I can get on my iPad and how crisp the graphics are on the display, I can tell that it's definitely definitely possible to get an Xbox One S type performance out of this iPad. We just need our developers to optimize their games a little bit better, like they're doing on the iPhone. Obviously, a lot more people have bought the new iPhone, so that's probably why it was a priority for them. But please, get around to the iPad. I would love for them to showcase how good the graphics and frame rates can be balanced on this iPad Pro. And I can tell it can do it. They just need to update a few settings. They're so close. Anyway, though, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you can enjoy playing Fortnite on your phone now at a full 60 frames a second, which by far I think is one of the best looking games I've ever seen on iOS. Let me know what you guys think of 60 FPS on mobile down in the comments below. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have an excellent day. Take care.